Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making some pastries stuffed with spinach and white cheese that I'll be using. You can do any fillings. These are the spinach that we've used the other day when we've made a dish out of using the roots of the spinach, baby leaf spinach. I'll show you them in a little bit later. I've got one of these glass mugs. I'm going to have 5 cups of flour. So that's 1, that's 2, so keep adding in to make 5 cups, and this is 5. So I've used 5 cups of flour, into which I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to put a teaspoon of baking powder. And now we're just going to add in some water. So just add in some water, mix it up. We'll get rid of the spoon and use our hands in a minute, but for the time being, you probably need about 2 cups, but it all depends on how much flour you've used. You don't have to be accurate with the measurements. Oops. And then start mixing it with your hands. I'll use my right hand, better with my right hand. I don't want to put too much water because I'm going to be using a little bit of olive oil to mix our dough up with. So even though you've still got little bits to pick up, it will pick all that up. So this is about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm now going to add my olive oil onto it as well. And now we can give it a good mix and feed all that oil into it. Once you've got all that oil to take in, then we can now turn it onto our work surface and work on it more easily here. So keep on kneading it this way until you've got a nice smooth dough. The more you work on it, the smoother it'll get. So I still need to be working on it, so just keep on working on it for about 10 minutes. Either put a cling film, or if you've got a lid or a towel over it, and now leave it to rest for 20 minutes. In the meanwhile, we'll get on preparing our spinach. So these now need to be really washed thoroughly. Keep washing and rinsing them a few times. Make sure there's no dirt on them, there's no mud left on them. And then we'll chop these up. So I'm just going to go and wash and prepare my spinach and I'll come back. Okay, my pastry's been resting there for over half an hour while I prepared my spinach and what have you. I've got some butter and also some cooking oil, sunflower oil, and I'm just going to melt that butter with the mixture of cooking oil to the work surface. And see how once it's rested, it's really quite soft. Now we need to just work on that pastry again a little bit. I'm going to cut mine into half, it'd be easy for me to work on it. I mean, it all depends how much you'll be making. You can always use different fillings as well if you wanted to make just a plain cheese one. So one of them I'll just put back into the container and leave it there for now. And then I'll just work on this one. Whilst you worked on it, just get it into oblong. And then what we're going to do is just cover your pastry. You want to get your melted butter and oil, and you just want to get a bowl or something. And then what we're going to do is all these. I'm just going to butter the base. And then with each of your pastries that you've cut up, you want to just open them up a little bit. Not too much, just you just want to open it up like so, and then what we're going to do is brush them with this oil, and just keep doing each one like that, and just keep brushing them with this oil. So with your pastry, it's hard when you haven't got much space to work. Place that on top of it and just brush it on top. So we want it all covered up with this oil. So that's what we're doing. Let's get your rolling pin out and just open them up. So we're greasing each one of them, like so. Butter and oil is covered them both sides. Now don't forget, I've still got the other half pastry to do, but that's how you would prepare it, okay? Okay, while our pastry is just resting, soaking that oil in, get a pan, put a little bit of olive oil, 1 chopped up onion, we just want to toss them around until they change their colour, begin to change their colour, go transparent. Chopped up spinach, washed several times and just all chopped up. I'll add that into it. And we just mix that in. That'll reduce in its size in no time. I cook my spinach this way with the onions, but some people don't do that. Some people will just cut the onion and the spinach and put a little bit of salt and really rub it down, and that's all they would do. But I like my onions sautéed. So here we are. Now I can turn it down, turn it off. So now that's it, turn it off now. Chop up your cheese and add that into it as well. Before you add your cheese in, always taste your cheese to see if it's salty or not. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt, and I'd like to add just a pinch of chili flakes. Give that a mix, and then add in my cheese. I've just cubed up one block. I'll mix it up and see if I need to do another block. So you can do it as much or as little as you want. This is 750 grams of cheese, and it's divided into 6, and I've just used up 1 cube. But like I said, give it a mix and see if it needs any more. And yes, I think I'm going to do another block, one more block. So I'll be using 250 grams of cheese. So that's our filling ready. We're just going to put that aside to cool down. Okay, so once we've buttered all our pastries, I've done both halves. They're all butters and all that oil all over them, both sides. I've just taken a little bit of my mixture, a little bit at a time, onto a plate. Then what we need to do is take a piece of our pastry, and what we're going to do is just try and extend it, because you've had all that butter. It's made our pastry very soft. So you just keep pulling your pastry, just opening it up. Don't worry if it tears. Just keep on opening it up like so. That's what the oil does to you. It helps it extend. Making them like small pieces. If you wanted, you could make your pastry a bit more, and then it would go a lot further out. And what you want to do is just roll your pastry like so. And then what you want to do is start from one end and just curl them in, wrap it all the way around. So we're just going to make that sort of shape pastries filled with spinach and white cheese, and then either grease your oven tray or put one of these on, or greaseproof paper, and just put them on your tray. So again, grab a piece of your pastry, and what you want to do is just put it on your work surface and just keep pulling it, and then put your mixture in and curl it up. And then a little bit of the mixture. And then just take one and curl it and wrap the other one all the way like so. And that's what we'll be doing. So I'll continue making these. So I've got one tray ready to go in the oven. Before we do that, I've just got one egg. You want to beat this egg up. Melted the butter, pour it in there. Just get your brush and just brush over your pastries with this all over. Now if you wanted to put sesame seeds or anything like that, you can do. Just brush them all with this egg wash and then place it in the preheated oven at 180 until they're golden in colour. So I'll continue doing that, and then I'm going to put them in to the oven there to be cooked. Okay, while they've been in the oven, I've continued making them. So I've got this tray to put on, and then I've got another tray to put on. And now we'll just take our here we are. Oh yes, that's how they are. I'll just take them out and put the other trays in. So while the oven's getting cooked, just to show you, these they come out so flaky because obviously all that oil that we've put on, so they're crispy. Oh, hot. But very tasty. Flake away, really crispy, very tasty. Like I said, you can put your own fillings, make your own fillings, whatever you like to have in it. Now I've got a little bit of filling left over, and I'm going to make this into a spinach loaf thingy there. I'm going to have 3 eggs in. So waste want, not want. That's my 3 eggs. Give that a little beat. So once you've beaten up your eggs, because it's going to be a savoury, it's going to be a spinach loaf, I'm going to need to put some salt in. I've got half a cup of olive oil. I'm going to add that olive oil into it, and then I'm going to put half a cup of milk as well. They're only small measurements. It doesn't really matter, like I said, you just go ahead, feel free and be creative and make things. Once you've got that mixture, I'm going to add in some flour, just a little bit at a time, and mix that in. Into this I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. I've got a packet here, but it is about a teaspoon. And add a little bit more flour. Just add the flour in gradually as you're doing it and mix it in. So that was just 1.5 scoops of flour. Like I said, there's no measurements here. I probably will be needing a bit more, but at the minute I want to pour this mixture now into my spinach. Now you could have just cracked up some eggs in there and had it like that, but I wanted to use this to make spinach loaf. Whenever you're cooking, it's all about making things to your own taste. So never be afraid of experimenting. Just give that a mix. And yes, it will need a little bit more flour. So that's probably about 1 cup of flour is taken so far. Give it all mix. I'm going to leave it runny, but this is a bit too runny, so yes, we'll need to just add a little bit more flour in. And again, mix it all well. Okay, so it's still runny, but I don't want it to be too thick. So now I've just greased a baking tray. Pour that in it, and then we'll put that in the oven as well to cook on 180 degrees until that's cooked. Well, here we are. Our spinach and white cheese böreks are done. They're just bite size. Just get a small one. I've already had about 5 of them. They're crispy, they're very light, delicious. You can freeze them and just take a few bits at a time. Make your own fillings. It's taken about between 20 and 30 minutes for each batch to be done. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you give it a go. That's how easy it is to be made. And this is our leftovers that we made into like a bread. I normally put the